Good evening. Also, I just watched Joker 2. I didn't like it. uh, I didn't really like it. This isn't really a review on the movie itself. This is more of just like giving my general opinion and kind of also kind of touching on a lot of the controversy behind the movie and talking about the first one. Now, I like the first one a lot. I felt that the controversy in the first movie made no real sense. That it was just like kind of dumb and it was just made up. And people kept pushing the narrative towards that, thing, and it just wasn't the case. The first movie was really more about like the mental illness and how people who have that mental illness, especially during that time period, are just left and abandoned, right? You could even say that's kind of true nowadays. I think less likely, especially since um, when Joker 1 first came out, mental illness talking really started to grow, especially on the internet. And nowadays, you really can't go a day without people talking about it. You really can't. Um, and so, and I like Joker 1. I really, really did like the first movie. So when they announced Joker 2, I felt that there was no reason to make a movie about it. I just felt that it was just like, why? Like, I know the movie, I think it's like the first R-rated movie to like gross like $1 billion or something like that. Yeah, like $1 billion or above. And so when I looked at Joker 2, I was just like, this didn't need a sequel. It really did not need a sequel. It was an unnecessary sequel. And so I watched it with some friends, and they liked it more than I did. And I was just like, I didn't like the musical. I felt that was just too long and too boring. Like 1 to 2 wasn't bad, but I just felt like it was just unneeded. All the singing was really unneeded. Um, I didn't really care for Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn. Maybe if she was a lot younger, go for it. But she isn't, and I just felt like, okay, can we just go on? I felt that certain scenes were just too long or too short. I really did like the court scene. I like some of the scenes at the Arkham Asylum place. Those are some of the stuff I did enjoy a lot. Um, kind of felt like they were hinting towards certain things, right? And so as I was watching the movie, a part of me was just like, all right, was it really needed? And that part of me was like, okay, that isn't too bad. And so now after a little bit of time, watching after thinking about it and looking back at all the negative stuff that was said, I can see why. I can see why a lot of people did not like Joker 2, right? There was just, it was very unnecessary. And I can kind of see why some people like it, but it's still like, it's unnecessary. It could have really done without the whole musical. I felt like some scenes were just there for shock value. I kind of think that, like, whatever they were trying to tell did not work out in their favor. I guess they tried to retcon the first movie by saying that, because they kind of hinted that the movie, right, was, like, this movie is trying to hint that the first movie was, like, a TV special. Because there were certain characters that I thought that were dead, but they weren't dead. It was just a whole lot of, like, what's even going on. Like, I didn't really like it. I think they should have just focused more on the courtroom drama and a bit of like Harley Quinn, who I just felt like, oh, Harley Quinn wasn't crazy, she was just a rich kid, and I'm like, kind of felt like I was like, you could have just made her a psychiatric, right, and then she slowly falls in love with Joker. Like, I think that's what they were trying to do. I felt like the whole movie they were trying to do their own thing and it just did not work out at all. It got to the point where it was just like, can this movie end? And when it finally ended, I was just like expecting a little bit more, and just like, okay, that's it. That was awful. I, I don't want to spoil too much of the movie, but then again, I don't know if people are gonna watch it. You know, the Joker, I guess, dies, but then they hinted, oh well, he's not the actual Joker. There's another Joker, and just like, okay, okay. I felt like they wrote themselves in, with an older Joker. It's just like why? It's like why? I don't know. I did think that this movie was just unnecessary. I would say that I like the acting in some regards. I like a lot of scenes. The animated scene wasn't bad. I just felt that it was like they didn't go with the whole older, Warner Brothers animation. Felt like that could have been more of that old classic where it was more fluent. It was very more cartoony, very lively. I felt that a lot of it was like too stiff, too rigid. Uh, Felt like it wasn't like cartoony. It was just like cool, and some of the dream sequence, like in his head, was where the musical part were just like, okay, this is just out of place and not needed. Which I could kind of get, and I guess him kind of realized that he shouldn't. I don't know. It's not my. I didn't like it. I think I would have liked it if the musical weren't there. I really think that's why a lot of people don't like. I mean, there's other reasons why other people don't like it. I just think that the musical should have not been part of the movie. But that's all. That's my little review. Uh, but I would recommend Transformer One and The Wire Robot. Those are two great movies. You should watch over Joker too. Thank you, y'all. God bless. Subscribe, I guess.